Okay guys, so today we are chopping the frame of the Polaris. I know it sounds crazy, but we think it's the best way for us to fit the engine in, make sure it's in the right angle, it's in the right positioning, it's aligned with the input shaft for the trends, and that's it. We're chopping here and here for now. We got plenty of good support out there. Throw the engine in there, and then if we need to put them back right where they are, we will. Not a problem for us. Right, so using some CAD, we made up engine mounts or plates for the mounts. This right here, it's 5 inches and a quarter, right? We have this right here, it's actually 5 inches and a quarter. So it's the exact same measurement as that. We can just use the plate that we're gonna make out of steel, right in here like this, one on this side, one on this other back side down there. The engine should slide right in and we'll be able to just bolt through it, call it a day, at least for the back part of it. One thing we wanted to keep in mind is that we want the engine to be at its natural working position. So the same position it had on the bike, the same angle, we want to keep on the quad. So we're using an angle finder to make sure that the angle is the right one.
This is the sleeve that came out of the automatic transmission from the factory, and we are trying to convert it into a sprocket so we can then get the chain lined up to the engine. We thought of welding it, but it's probably not going to hold the power that we're going to put down with the bike. So we're going to take it to a friend of ours, a machinist, that's going to hopefully find a solution for it. This is the piece that came out of that. Initially, what we had thought was to weld the sprocket onto the sleeve. However, that was not going to hold the power that we need. And our machinist made a piece of art out of this. He put threads on the outside of the sleeve and on the inside of the sprocket. So we are able to interchange the sprocket whenever it gets worn down, which it will at some point, or break. We can just thread it out. It has a lock-in pin. This is not going to be able to simply spin out as it's driving, and a lock nut. This also is threaded going forward, meaning that when we are riding, it's gonna get tightened as power is being put down to it. Now that we have the two sprockets in place, we are able to get a straight chain line and weld the rear engine mounts. We're gonna proceed to weld the front engine mounts. We're gonna make an L-tab, make the holes in it, weld it onto the frame. As you can see, we already flipped the exhaust upwards so we can have as much room as possible underneath the engine, and also we can have a tractor flap. This is the finished product of the front engine mounts. We're spraying some Steelite in it. Take one, starting the engine.
No hay batería.
Neutro, bella.